How about some disco mode there? Ooh, potty, yeah. Do you have boring numbers for your home address? Well, we did, but that was until we made this sign right there. So we dealt with something that maybe a lot of you guys have also dealt with, and that is that our door entryway is kind of smaller and narrow. And for us, our lights were on the opposite side as where our numbers are. So we wanted to find a way for our lights to illuminate our numbers, and here's how we did that. So as I'm planning for my address sign, I'm thinking I want something that's really dark. So I'm going through all my samples of my acid stains here. And I'm looking for something that's more blackish. We have a white house, so I want it to pop against the white house. And I want the numbers to be able to come through where they're cut out at. So I'm kind of leaning towards this one because it has a little variation and it's not too boring. It's copper and bronze. But I might just put more bronze throughout it to give it more of that black. Every metal is slightly different, so these can only give us a little bit of an idea, a little path to follow, but we can't expect them to turn out quite like this. That one's not too bad either. Auburn and bronze. I think I'm gonna first start out with copper because I like that look better. Yeah, and that way I'll get it more darker because the bronze goes more black against the copper than it does with the auburn. So I think that's my start point. Start with the copper. First things first, we're gonna wet her down.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Yeah, boy.
Now I'm gonna use my copper. Changes colors quite fast. Normally I would rinse this off before applying my next coat, but because I'm doing the bronze and the instructions here say just to place right over the copper if you want a dark effect. So because of that, I am not going to rinse it off. I'm gonna go for it. Now, because I want it to stop the color changing process, I rinse it off. And I'm loving the little bits that didn't take. It just gives it a more rustic vibe, and I love that. Another thing to note is when you're using these, the acid will run a direction of where the water is. So that's kind of where those water lines seem to have moved. It's because there was excess water there, or it was not completely level. So I'm going to give it another little rinse, and then I'll let it dry. Once it dries, it kind of dulls out a little bit. Okay, so here is the sign now that it's fully dried. As you can see, it looks a lot different from when it was wet and when we first did the acid stains on them. But once we give it the clear coat, it's going to change the look quite a bit. So these signs go through a few different changes, and it's pretty cool to see how the whole process of it goes. Okay, so we've got a couple coats of paint on here, and the color has come back to the sign. It is no longer dull. It's interesting though, the paint really likes to absorb into some spots. So there's going to be some areas that look more dull than others. So getting quite a few excessive spray paints on there is really going to help that to be protected, but also to have that full coverage of gloss shine. So as I said when we were looking at the color samples, you can't really expect your color to come out exactly like those samples that we have there, but rather they just give you a guide and help you go towards a certain direction of what you want your sign to look like. So they are still helpful, but as you've seen through this process, these signs go through a lot of changes. So if you wanted a drippy look, you can shoot the acid on here as it's propped up like this, and you'll get lines and streaks that run down. So there's so many different ways of achieving multiple looks with these acid stains. And ultimately, you can never go wrong. They always turn out just beautiful. Here's another example of one I did where I actually let extra water sit on here with the acid and just dry with extra acid on there, and you can really see that pooling of rust look around the letters here. And that's what I wanted. I wanted it to look like it's been outside and just left, but I still wanted to give it some special features. Like I wanted the mountains to have a lighter look underneath, and then the darker horizon kind of look above it. So I was able to keep that look and just really keep this sign feeling like it was outside, because that's ultimately what this sign represents, is just being outside. So I think I accomplished that, and it looks great. What do you guys think? I'm interested to hear what you think of this product and what kind of look you guys prefer after seeing the sample discs and seeing this process. What were some of your favorites? You can fully customize it with your address or your last name. Whatever you have in mind, we can create it for you and have it a special color to match your house, or just whatever kind of theme you want. But all in all, these signs just add a lot of character to your home and really enhance that curb appeal for you. So now we can illuminate our numbers when it's dark outside, which is going to be a lot nicer for the delivery men when they bring us our packages. But you can also change it for the seasons and just have fun with it. Ooh, potty, yeah.